Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick look here at Ethereum, double checking a few key factors. We're going to jump into some liquidation data and kind of see what's going on. Before we do start though, highly recommend you understand that FOMC meeting is today. This will probably be happened by the time you watch this video. So just note that a lot of times when you trade into this, it's not generally a good idea. You typically want to kind of wait on the sidelines until a trend is established after the FOMC is complete. So just some friendly advice there. A quick congrats to our community here for some nice profits on our SUI long, near protocol long. We've got a Bitcoin take profit target coming up here. We're in at 82.5 for our average entry, and things are looking pretty solid here overall for the recent signals sent. Keep in mind, you have to, with swing trades, kind of ride out these dips because we're seeing a lot of manipulative waves here for Bitcoin more specifically. So in case you didn't catch my Bitcoin analysis, you can kind of see here we got this power of three, where we got an expansive wave, or correction, that is the accumulation wave. Manipulation wave to trick late shorts, and then of course the price pumps up to destroy those late shorts. We're seeing the exact same thing happen right now to basically a copy and paste of that. Now the reason why this is really cool to see is the simple fact that we didn't quite get that same manipulation from Ethereum. In other words, we bottomed out this 1900 range. Price recovered really well there, did not establish a lower low, which most other coins did. This speaks to how strong this coin is recovering and likely to continue higher because of that. Now, there's still some situations here that could occur. We're probably going to see this fair value gap get filled, or at least that's a distinct probability. In other words, the price pulls back down to this 1950 to 2000 range. There's a decent chance we'll go ahead and see that filled before the next leg up. All right, it's common occurrence here to retest a local high as a new low. So just something to be mindful of. All right, so all that preface aside, let's take a quick look at liquidation, kind of see what's going on here. And recognize there is a pretty decent chunk between 2060 and 2120. Okay, so that's that upper level there. Decent chance we see that hit here either soon or later. Big surprise, right? Oh, it's either going to happen now or not. It's so dumb. It's crazy to have to talk like that, but with this manipulation of the market, if it doesn't go up here soon, it'll inevitably hit that level. But it may have to pull back first. So we might see 2000 and 1950 before that occurs. Either way, we saw maybe about close to 10 billion in liquidation at the 1960 range. So congrats to those who had some longs in that area. Sorry if you were trying to short this coin. I originally spoke about wanting to short that $2,000 mark, but the price never came up to that level. I'm glad I slept on that because the truth is, 2000 is kind of like that psychological support and resistance zone. We haven't retested it yet as a support, so we're going to see here soon that may be a logical place to consider a long. From a macro perspective, though, we can see once more this 2100 as that local high. There's a gap, or sorry, not a gap, but there's a significant amount of liquidation in the $2,200-$2,300 range as well. Basically, anytime you see a local high, that's where you're going to see liquidation, and it's common for the price to shoot right up into that level and to reverse itself. This looks way different than most other coins right now, by the way. Liquidation delta. This is basically telling us we have $4 billion in liquidation longs versus shorts. Doesn't mean there aren't any shorts, it just means that's that much more longs. And that implies sustainability and or likelihood of getting destroyed if you try to short this coin. Not to say it couldn't still pull back in the short term and you could still find success. I'm sure that's fine. In fact, my day trading bot's probably shorting this coin as we speak. It's just kind of the way that it goes. But the truth is you want to be careful trading against the grain, and that's essentially what you'd be doing if you consider a short right now. We see here 1975, pretty significant amount of buy volume at that level. That's most likely a whale. Those are people like you and I, unless you have 90 million in Ethereum that you can buy at any given time. Anyways, the whole point of this is that that's the next area of support. So I'd be highly interested in getting in 1975 to $2,000 range for a potential long on this coin. Once more, we want to look at everything before we make that decision. I'm confident the macro perspective is still pretty poor, which most coins are exuding bad macro structures, as we can see here. Daily time frame, reflecting some pretty significant issues here. Basically, we haven't broken above the descending trend line. We're technically testing the 20-day SMA right now, though, which is good. That's a good starting point, but it doesn't mean we've broken bullish or we're back on track. So even though I'm referring to a long at the $2,000 mark, it doesn't mean I'm going to take that to 3,000. I'm not an idiot. I'm going to take that to the local high or the previous low, which is maybe this $2,200 mark. Play it safe, play it conservative. I usually look for 4 to 6% movements in the market, usually with 5x leverage on average. Okay, that's kind of where we're at. Anyways, that's kind of how I do things, but doesn't mean you have to. Just know that at this point, the macro structure still looks bad in the overall sense. We do have good momentum though. Keep in mind, stochastic swinging up, MACD is converging. We're under 50 on the RSI. I don't love it, but we're over our moving average. So there's a lot of positivity here. It's like 60, 70% positive on the macro. It's just not all the way there, not good enough to be like, I'm going to hold this bad boy to 3,000. I mean, if you've seen any of the jokes, the memes, that's fairly consistent, like people from, that held on to this coin from like 3 to 4 years ago are at break even, right? So the truth is this coin, it's not like a monumental mover, but it's moving really strong right now, which is generally a good sign for alt season. I'm not trying to throw that or put that bug in the air, but just saying in general, when Ethereum starts off strong, that's usually a good little catalyst for altcoins to follow. Either way you look at it, 4-hour time frame is overextended. We're seeing that rejection here at 70 in the RSI, basically just slowing the price action down. So what we want to look out for is either basically a pennant pattern that generally looks like this here, where the price action starts to work itself into a type of channel, and then usually that'll break to the upside. Terrible line there, sorry. It looks like something like this on average. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but if you see that structure start to occur, it would make sense to consider more so a long than a short, as long as volume continues to remain high. If this starts to taper off, we're probably going to see a pullback. My interest is in getting in somewhere between 1950 and 2000. That just seems like a very logical place to consider entry. We may not see that though. If FOMC goes well today, we're going to probably see the price go sideways and up. But if history repeats itself, we'll probably see somewhat of a pullback for altcoins just because they're moderately overextended today, and it would make sense to see a correction to that range. Either way you look at it here, 4-hour time frame still looks good, even though we are overextended, probably more likely to pull back. Once more, just reinforcing that potential potential interest in the $2,000 range, or just under. We can see we're at a 9 on TD sequential too, kind of highlighting the fact that we've been moving in the same direction for 9 hours. If you look at history here, or just the local history rather, you can see when we hit a 9 on TDS, the price went sideways in a bullish rectangle type of pattern and inevitably broke to the upside. Okay, so we want to be looking out for a rectangular type of pattern and or a type of pennant, I guess you could say, pattern. These are typically going to break to the upside. It's far too early to tell though, folks. At this point, it's best to presume the price will pull back a little bit before you consider a long. So once more, 2000 and 1950, that's kind of where my money's at. But everything is indicating further upside is likely. Just know the manipulative market we're in, plus FOMC, there's a decent chance we see this price rake back down just based on the way that things have been moving here lately. So cool. All right, that's what we got there. Hope this makes sense. Thanks again so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Be sure to tune into our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you're not familiar. I provide playout charts and relevant information. Also, if you're looking for passive income, Premium Plus auto trading has been pretty awesome. This may not seem like a lot, but $666 in profit over 45 days, maybe 50 days worth of trading. It's pretty good considering you're only using $50 per trade and a $1,000 portfolio. So anyways, I get a lot of questions that, figure I cover that. I post that daily in case you're curious about how that's progressing. Hope you all have a good one though. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.